Now, there's a pretty big debate about where some of these chemicals are kind of being stored. And that has more to do with some of the terpenes and flavonoids. We know for a fact where the cannabinoids are. And so on the right hand of the screen here, I have a couple cross sections that have been published in literature of really looking at that chemical cross section of the cannabis bud. And it's, fairly consistent that the terpenes are kind of like a sunscreen or oil covering the entire plant. And so that's usually kind of their first line of defense in a lot of ways. That's why people, think terpenes can be a reaction to certain lights or, a repellent to bugs or even attractant to other animals to redisperse their seed. And so the terpenes are kind of the first outside layer of chemicals. And there's different type of terpenes, right? There's, water soluble terpenes, there's non-water soluble terpenes, there's a bunch. What in is still up to debate. You can see where, the cross sections here actually contradict each other, where the sesquiterpenes and the non-sesquiterpenes are even located. There's also some debate, like, that some terpenes can actually be attached to the trichome. I still think it's kind of like an oil sunscreen covering the whole thing. The flavonoids, that's that last kind of chemical set that we really don't discuss much. And the reason why we don't discuss it is it's not because we're not interested, it's because we don't have the equipment. And there's no professional labs currently within Canada that are testing for flavonoids. And so it's just kind of been put on the back burner for us for cataloging our cannabis, if that makes any sense. And then towards the bottom, I just kind of have, over here is just some examples of basically refinement of cannabis, just the steps involved from the most raw, which is the flower form, to basically a crystalline isolate. And so these, these are all within the process. But really what we're, the goal of extraction is just to remove basically the terpenes, cannabinoids, and flavonoids and keep everything else still separate.